Hello, everyone. And you are once again at the Breakfast Intellectual Bites. And today we're going to speak about the 4th of July and one of the traditions that is connected to the 4th of July. I'll start with one saying that was mentioned by Young, that true independence and freedom can only exist in doing what's right. And the 4th of July, then all the people around the world know that the 4th of July is the Independence Day of the United States of America, and it started to be celebrated the second day after the Declaration of Independence was issued. The Declaration of Independence was issued in 1776, and the second year in Pennsylvania, a big celebration was organized, and it had as a purpose to celebrate the separation from the British Empire. Then generally, there are a lot of traditions that are connected to the 4th of July. And one of the traditions that I don't know whether many people know about is the rodeo. Then today we're going to speak about the rodeo as one of the events that is namely designed to celebrate the 4th of July, that means the Independence Day of the United States of America, that is to honor that kind of great event of the separation from the British Empire. We have as a guest today Margaret Ents. I'm sure that you recognize already the lady that spoke about passion and teaching. And today she is our guest to speak about the rodeos. Then the guest, Margaret Ants, became the guest purposefully. That is explained by the fact that I don't know how many years Margaret Ants generally invites the internationals to visit the rodeos every year. Then this year, I had the possibility to join the rodeo in Springdale. It is called the Rodeo of the Ozarks. And that's why Margaret Ants is namely the person to speak about rodeo and what the meaning of rodeo is and what kind of purpose it has and in what way this rodeo is connected to the celebration of the 4th of July. Hello, Margaret.
Hi, Victoria. So glad to be with you. Hello, everyone.
Hi. Hello. Now, my first question, then I made a little bit of research about the rodeo yesterday, and I learned that the rodeo is a sport. I would have never thought that that's a sport, but that's a sport out of cattle industry in American West. And generally, it started in the 19th century. And the first rodeo in the United States was held on July the 4th in 1888. But there was a creator of something that we today call rodeo, and that person's name is William F. Cody, or Buffalo Bill, who started some Wild West shows in Nebraska in 1882. Then now we want that you first of all share something about the rodeo. Then how many years have you been taking the international to the rodeos, and how many years have you been visiting the rodeos?
Well, I started when my kids were little. When they were like 8 and 10, and they're 29 and 30 now. So
okay, about 20 years ago.
Yeah, the rodeo has been going on a long time. And I love to take international students because it's a very American experience. And it's a way that we celebrate our country, and it's a way that we celebrate a way of life that is fast fading. We are becoming much more of a online tech, Wi-Fi, internet society, but this was an older way of life where people took care of animals and they ran cattle and they had lots of land to take care of. and it was just a different way of life back then.
Okay, then how often do the people organize rodeos? Because that's going to be the first question.
Yeah, usually the rodeos are every year, and there are over 600 rodeos that take place in the United States. And each of those rodeos has a committee, and they, excuse me, they organize everything, and they hold their rodeos. So there is a national organization that oversees all the rodeos, and the cowboys get points in their individual rodeos. And if they have enough points, they can go to the national rodeo, and that's held in Las Vegas in December. So it's a very competitive sport.
Okay, then that's a sport first.
It's a
then
sport.
Then when we speak about, because I attended the rodeo that was held in Springdale, living in Fayetteville. Margaret is in Springdale, and it's about a 10 or 15 minute drive from my house to Margaret's house. That means Springdale and Fayetteville, they're very close to each other. Tell me, please, is there an organization who generally is responsible for rodeos in Springdale? That means the Rodeo of the Ozarks.
Yeah, there's a committee called the Rodeo of the Ozarks Committee, and they have a board of directors, and the board of directors runs the rodeo in Springdale. But they have lots of volunteers that help, and they work on it all year round in order to hold the event.
Do they have a kind of budget, or they get sponsorship from different organizations?
Yeah, they do get sponsorships from local companies, and they also make money from ticket sales. So tickets are usually between $10 and $15 for a general admission, but their reserved seating can go up to $150.
Then we were very lucky to have special tickets. Could you speak about the tickets that we got? Because those were general tickets, were special tickets.
Yeah, those were reserved, and we got to sit above the chutes where the animals come out, and we had covered seating, so we were in the shade. And part of having those reserved seatings is we were able to go to a special dinner beforehand. And they had a buffet, and they had drinks, and it's just a really fun event.
Okay, it was really a fun event. It was, we were full, excited, motivated, and committed to watch the rodeo from the beginning till the end.
Yes.
Okay. Then could you tell me what does rodeo mean for the American people?
Yeah, rodeo is just a chance to celebrate. The 4th of July, of the patriotism of our country. You know, usually they'll play the national anthem. Sometimes they'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Sometimes they'll have veterans that have fought for our country there, and they will honor them. And it's also just a time of entertainment to get out and have fun and enjoy being outside. And actually, the Rodeo of the Ozarks started around World War II because people were very, it was really a hard time for a lot of people with the World War. And the organizers of the Rodeo of the Ozarks wanted to do something fun for the area. And it was a way to bring entertainment, in a way to forget about all the problems of the world and just have a good time.
Okay, now I'm going to share with the audience some of the videos that I shot at the rodeo, and Margaret is going to tell what the video is about, because generally, as we have already mentioned, the rodeo, that's a performance that has a lot of stages. It's not about only bull riding and horse riding. It's about entertainment all in all. The first video that generally is only the beginning of the rodeo. I think even we can say that that's the rodeo itself. I want
We're gonna count them down. Dwayne's giving them the final rules. So I think it's a good clean race. A good clean race. No elbows, no knees, no arms sticking out. Good clean race. Here we go. We're gonna count them down in 3, 2, 1. Let's race.
I feel tears welling up from the deep inside my heart's burning. When it's time along and it's sharp and painful, and I never said. I see I'm still getting hard.
Okay, if you were attentive, then the bleachers were almost empty. The rodeo hasn't started yet. It was much earlier because the rodeo was supposed to start at 7:30, but that was much earlier than 7:30. Margaret, could you tell us what that is?
Yeah, they just have fun events, so people can get together and laugh. And they had some bouncy horses, and they put some of the cowboys on them, and they were supposed to bounce to the finish line. And just as kind of a fun thing, they started moving the finish line, and the cowboys started bouncing the wrong way. And then they started getting off their bouncy horses and grabbing their bouncy horses to finish. So it was just kind of a fun way to celebrate and to enjoy the crowd.
Okay, and that was a kind of process of igniting the curiosity for people who never attended rodeos. There is one question: is horse riding a sport that is very spread in the United States? Because after that, I'm going to switch on the video where the kids are doing the same thing.
Yeah, they have rodeo. They start rodeo events probably at the junior high and high school levels. So some of those kids start competing very young. And most of them grew up on a ranch or grew up around horses. And so they're very familiar with that. And they grow up doing the rodeo events. And then as they get older, they move on to professional rodeo.
Okay, then we have a video with the kids, the same horses, but in this case, we don't have the cowboys, but we have the kids.
So help me count them down in 3, 2, 1. Let's race. Look at this. Look, it's a tie heat. It is a tie heat. Oh, we got something coming quickly. It's a tie for the first place. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We got a winner down here. Second place.
Okay, then generally that's not the beginning, but that's the process of entertaining the people before the real rodeo starts.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, it's fun. And you can see lots of kids, then kids of different age, starting with toddlers, because we saw when they had the parade with on horses, there was a baby, who was waving to us as a baby. Okay, there is another question. Does rodeo mean food and socializing for the American people? And this question is, I don't know, it came out from my general observance of a lot of food trucks there at the stadium.
Right. Well, rodeo food is pretty much carnival food. So it's things that you can eat while you watch the rodeo. A lot of, hot dogs and fried food and popcorn and funnel cakes. Usually it's not very healthy food, but it
Okay.
tastes good and it's fun to eat while you're watching.
Okay.
So,
Is there any special food that the greatest number of the Americans want to try when being named at the rodeo?
yeah, I would say nothing in particular, but a lot of popcorn and peanuts and corn dogs and funnel cakes and just fried food. It just depends on what the food truck is and what they are offering.
Before we are going to go to the start of the rodeo, I want that you tell us a little bit about the queen of the rodeo, because I'm going to switch on the
Oh,
video with the ladies that were wearing very beautiful rodeo suits. And these ladies generally are supposed to volunteer or are supposed to advertise the rodeo.
mhm.
And finally, one of them is named the queen of the rodeo.
Mhm.
Then could
Yeah,
you speak a little bit about the process?
yeah, there is a competition to have a queen, and the queen actually reigns for a year, and she goes around to different places promoting rodeo. So usually there are 4 or 5 different contestants, and they are judged on their appearance and their ability to speak well and on their ability in horsemanship. And that the queen is crowned for the year and she gets a saddle and scholarships. And it's really a big honor to be queen of the rodeo.
Okay, then I have generally all the ladies that want to be named or crowned as the queen of the rodeo. They are supposed to volunteer throughout the rodeo, and there is something connected to this. And they want to, I don't know, to express their gratitude to the sponsors, and they generally come with the flags with the name of the sponsor.
Mhm.
They advertise or they express their gratitude in a way by riding the horses with the flag with the name of the sponsor. Then I would like to share the video, and while I'm going to share it, Margaret is going to tell us what kind of sponsor is she representing.
Okay.
So for the PRCA,
Yeah.
Budweiser, Justin Moose, big thank you to Wrangler, Sam's Furniture, our presenting sponsor.
Rodeo, and they also get some advertisement. So people see what the company is, and hopefully they will go buy things at the companies that sponsor the rodeo.
Okay. Tell me, please, then, as far as I could observe, I can't say the most serious, but all the time they try to advertise Sam's. What is Sam's?
Sam's is a local furniture company.
Okay.
And so they sell furniture and they advertise at local events so people will hear about their company, and hopefully if they want furniture they will go to that furniture company and buy furniture. So it's but they also want to support events that help the community and events that people there's going to be a lot of people at and that are popular in the local area.
I'm counting the number of the sponsors, and I have here the leaflet, and these are all the sponsors of the rodeo of the Ozarks. And there are many people.
Mm-hmm.
that the rodeo of the Ozarks is a very expensive event, and what do you think they need money for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the rodeo is an expensive event, and the biggest thing they need money for is prize money, because the more prize money that they can offer, the more cowboys want to come and participate, and the more stock and the better bulls and horses they will get. So it's all about the prize money. And in the
Okay.
rodeo of the Ozarks, they offer over $150,000 in prize money.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's
Is
a
it
big
one
deal.
of the most expensive, or there are many more
Mhm.
expensive rodeos?
Yeah, it is one of the top 5 outdoor rodeos in the
Okay.
country. But there are indoor rodeos too, and the most prestigious one is in Las Vegas in December, and it has over $10 million of prize money that they give.
Okay.
So
Now,
yes.
okay, now we have come to the structure of the rodeo, named
Okay.
horse and bull riding. Then I'm going to switch on the video, and Margaret is going to explain to us what this means. But before we're going to go to the structure of the rodeo, I want to tell, there are some key elements that I want that Margaret touches upon first. Then, first of all, 8 seconds.
Mhm.
Then horse riding and bull riding at the rodeo shouldn't exceed 8 seconds. Why?
Well, in order for a cowboy to qualify for his ride, he has to stay on the animal for at least 8 seconds. If he
Okay.
doesn't stay on for 8 seconds, then he's automatically disqualified and his ride doesn't count.
Okay.
So he has to stay on for at least 8 seconds.
Okay. Then 8 seconds, that's the minimum.
That's
The
the minimum.
cowboys are supposed to stay on the animal.
Right.
There is a process that makes the horse or the bull get wild or
Mhm.
very agitated.
Mhm.
It is called bucking.
Mhm.
How do they get? Is this a kind of inherited
Mhm.
process, or that's a kind of process that is made by the people?
Right. Well, these bulls and horses have not been ridden, so they naturally don't want somebody on them. And then, in addition to that, they put a strap around the animal's body, and it
Okay.
has spurs on it which dig into the animal, and they don't like that, so that makes them buck even more.
Okay.
And so that increases the cowboys' ride because the bulls and the horses buck and even more and try to get them off.
Okay, then the whole bucking process, that's a process that in a way is determined by a kind of strip around the flanks of the animal.
Yes.
And generally, I read yesterday that they want minimum 8 seconds for the cowboys to be on the animal, because in 8 seconds, the animal gets very tight and the level of adrenaline goes down. That's why the whole horse riding is not that fascinated
Okay.
as at the beginning. Okay, we go to the structure. Let's see the video, the first video. The first video is calf catching. 1 second.
Just want to make that clear.
I'm going to switch off the sound. Now, could you tell us, Margaret, what is going on the field?
Yeah, I think this is calf roping.
Yeah, that's right.
And so the calf is going to be let go and the cowboy has to rope the calf, and the fastest time wins. So
I think that that's not calf roping, that's calf catching. I don't know what.
calf wrestling, is that the
Yeah,
wrestling?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, the wrestling.
Okay, yeah. So the calf will go
Okay,
out
let's
of
see.
the chute, and
Yeah.
the calf will go out of a chute, and then the cowboy grabs the calf by his head and wrestles him down to the ground. And then
Okay.
whoever does that in the fastest amount of time wins.
Do you think that that's a very difficult process?
Oh yeah, you know, those calves are heavy, and the cowboys have to not only catch them, but they have to get them on the ground. So it's not an easy thing to do.
Okay, then generally there are 4 stages. I'm going to show 3. I think that was the second stage. The first is horse riding.
Okay.
We have the calf roping, and then
Okay.
we have the calf wrestling, and then we have bull riding.
Okay.
Then now we have horse riding.
Construction shoot. Let's rock.
Yeah, this is the bucking broncos. And so I think this is the bareback riding. So they don't have saddles on them. And the horses don't want to be ridden. And then, as we said, they have that strap that makes them buck. So the horses are trying to get the cowboys off of them, and the cowboys are trying to stay on for 8 seconds.
Yeah, that's right. And then I have the bull riding. That is the most, I think, throughout the whole rodeo, that is one of the most dangerous moments.
Absolutely.
Because we saw something that got us, I was shocked because one of the cowboys got injured by a bull, and we saw it, and I got very frustrated. I thought, okay, they have a lot of ribs broken, I think, after the rodeo. Okay, we're going to watch it. That's bull riding. Okay, I switched off the sound. Then could you tell us what are they going, what are they doing in there?
The bull riding, the cowboy has to stay on the bull for 8 seconds. And it's very dangerous because even when they get off, the bull can trample on them, the bull can gore them. And you didn't see this, but they have clowns that actually try to distract the bull away from the cowboy so that the cowboy doesn't get hurt. So
That's right.
It's a very dangerous sport. Most of the injuries in rodeo come from bull riding. Okay.
Then as you have touched upon the clowns, then there is, as this is a performance, and as it aims at entertaining the people, there is a clown or barrel man, as they called it in the flip-flat, and his name is Keith Isley. Could you tell me, is this a prestigious profession?
Yes, you can make a lot of money being a professional clown. And most of the rodeos have rodeo clowns. And, you know, it takes some time to organize everything and to get ready for the events. And the clowns help bring some humor to that. And they help keep the crowd entertained while the rest of the events are being prepared. So it's usually most rodeos have a clown or an entertainer.
Okay, then except for the clown, they have different performances connected to horse riding that in a way entertain the people too. Then we have 2 performances of girls riding the horse. Then I have recorded only one. Then Margaret, what that is.
Yes, these are they're called the Rodeo Rounders, and it's a group of ladies that perform at different rodeos, and they do different formations, and they run their horses in different ways. They have grown up around horses. They're very good at handling horses, and they help entertain the crowds.
Okay, then there is a lot of music in here.
To perform what you're seeing before you right now, faith in each other, faith in their horses, but most importantly and above all, is faith in the good Lord above as they form a cross for you right inside our arena.
Okay, then now that roughly speaking, that was the structure of the rodeo. What should the rodeo finish with? Mostly, in the greatest majority of the cases.
Usually the bull
will.
riding is the last thing because it's the most exciting. And then after the rodeo is over, sometimes there are fireworks, and those
Okay.
are associated with the 4th of July, with celebrating America too.
Okay, now if we continue the discussion, I have some personal questions. Margaret is the happy mother of 2 boys. Okay, then could you tell us, Margaret, have you ever thought about getting your boys involved in the rodeo industry? Because
Yeah.
as far as I know, that's quite a rich industry. That means you can earn a lot of money if you are a very good horse rider or.
Yeah, no, not really, because rodeo is something that kids grow up in. And, you know, most people, including our family, are more city oriented. And we've never had animals or horses or anything like that. So you really need that environment to grow up in. And it's also very dangerous. You know, we talked about bull riding, but there are a lot of injuries, and there are even, you know, in bull riding, there are even some fatalities. 1 to 2 people can even be killed in rodeo. So it's not an easy sport. And you know, it's fun to do the bouncy horses, and it's fun to ride the sheep. And I would be fine if my kids did that. But rodeo is something you do because you love. And usually you love it because you grew up with it.
Okay, then you have never thought about persuading your kids to join the rodeo industry.
I really have not. No. It's not an easy way to make a living.
Okay, do you think that, okay, I don't know because I tried yesterday to look for general information, but I didn't get it. Do the rodeo men, the horse riders and the bull riders have other professions except this one?
Yeah, you know, it's a very small percentage that can make a living just doing rodeo. And a lot of the cowboys have jobs during the week, and then they will perform in the rodeo on the weekend. So I read that, you know, in terms of the number of cowboys that can retire just from rodeo is very, very small. And most of them have to work other jobs.
Okay, do you think, what are the states that are mostly involved in rodeo industry?
The rodeo is very popular out west. So, you know, there's more cattle out there, there's more animals out there. So, Wyoming, Colorado, Texas,
Oklahoma, I think.
Oklahoma, yeah, all big rodeo places.
Do you have famous rodeo men in Arkansas?
Yeah. Most of the rodeo, most of the cowboys that appear in the rodeo come from other places. But as we saw, there are some local
Yeah.
cowboys, and people actually follow them, and they are celebrities in their own right. So there
Yeah.
are some local guys. Yes.
Generally, I want to say that internationally, the Americans, they got the third place in the rodeo. The first place was taken by Canada.
Oh.
Yes, that's the thing that I learned
Okay.
yesterday.
Okay.
Then, and the person is from Texas. That means I thought, I wondered whether there is an Arkansas man who internationally did great at the rodeo, but that was a person from Texas. Then he is the third in the international rank. And I have one question more. Are there fatal cases at the rodeo? And are there any fatal cases here, or were there fatal cases here in Springdale? That means at the Rodeo of the Ozarks.
Yeah. You know, I don't think we've ever had a fatality here, but there are fatalities, you know, again, mostly in bull riding, in the horse, the bareback, and the saddle bronc riding. There are a lot of spinal injuries or cervical injuries. So it's not a safe sport by any means. But
Okay.
yes, it is possible that they do have a fatality.
Then generally this rodeo was held on June 23rd, 26th. That means, did they have the same performance every single day, or the performances were different?
The events are the same, but the cowboys are different every night depending upon who draws what night and what animal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it then, you have said that the rodeo is generally connected to the celebration of the 4th of July. Why was it organized this year on the 23rd, 26th of June?
Well, because there are a lot of rodeos that happen on the 4th of July, so cowboys can't be at every single one on the same day. So by moving it a little bit earlier, they get better cowboys that can come in and perform, and then they can go on and perform at other rodeos on the 4th of July. So
Okay.
they do it to get better cowboys and to get better livestock. Yeah.
Okay. Then that was about the rodeo and the celebration of the separation from the British Empire.
Right.
The celebration of the 4th of July. Margaret, any wishes? Because this live stream was designed in a way to expose the people to a traditional celebration of the 4th of July, because the 4th of July is not about only cookout and best wishes, but it's about special events that Americans love, and there are very few people that know about.
Well, I hope everyone has a chance to see the rodeo, because it's a very American tradition, and you know, it's fun to see other cultures and how they celebrate and what they do. And I hope that you saw that, you know, it was serious, but it was also fun. And
That's right.
yeah. So I hope everyone has the chance to see something like that.
Okay, Margaret, could you provide with best wishes on the occasion of the 4th of July that is coming, because today is the 2nd of July.
Yeah, so on the 4th of July, we have picnics, and we have fireworks, and we get together and celebrate. And I hope everyone has a very happy 4th. And yeah, and I'm glad that you got to see a little bit of how we celebrate here in the United States.
Okay, then our discussion has come to an end. Dear Americans, happy 4th of July. We hope you'll have a wonderful 4th of July with fireworks and cookout and your relatives close to you. I'd like to finish today's stream with the idea: true independence and freedom can only exist in doing what's right. And at the same time, I'd like to express my deepest gratitude to Margaret, first of all, taking care of the internationals in here, because she is organizing a lot of things for the international students and scholars at in Arkansas. And secondly, for being today's guest and sharing something that she believes, okay, people should know about America and American traditions. Thank you so much. That was really great.
Thank you, Victoria. Love being with you guys. Hello.
Okay, bye. See you at another episode of Breakfast Intellectual Bites.